how to be blood brothers for life, tonight at 6.
KCEN TV presents Christina Brown, Richard Tollison, and Roscoe Harrison. This is Newswatch 6 Today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Newswatch 6 Today on this Friday morning. It's now 6 a.m. and is it foggy out there today?
It sure is, Christina. There is some heavy fog out there. I mean, dangerously heavy fog. So you might want to speed up your grooming process and get out the door just a little faster today so you can take a little extra time to get to work or school. Here is a look now at the temperatures as we say goodbye, Johnny, today. Today's Johnny Carson's last day, so it's a historic day in broadcasting. 62 in Waco and Temple, 63 in Killeen, 64 in Bryan College Station. It's also historic in broadcasting in the sense I'm recording our entire broadcast day today as a record of, number one, what broadcasting is like in this time period for, years later when it's completely changed, because think how much it's changed in the last 20 years.
Oh, I know. It's rapidly changed.
And also to have Johnny's last show on there. And I've been wanting to do this for some time, and I thought, well, today's a perfect day. Something actually historic is happening, and I'll do it. So
and your grandkids can watch and laugh at you someday.
Exactly right. Well, I happen to be on here, too. So, yeah, Alex and all the little Tollisons to come someday will be able to look and say, boy, Granddad sure was strange.
I won't argue. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, later, though, we will talk about the Memorial Day forecast for everyone who is going to be out and about this weekend.
Now, that might not be a good idea, but if they persist in going out there, we'll do our best to give them a good forecast.
Thanks, Richard. Before we get to news-making headlines here in Central Texas, here's Bill Ross with Newswatch.
4 black men accused of beating a white truck driver during the L.A. riots were arraigned Thursday. The group is accused of attacking Reginald Denny. Bail for Darian Williams, the man seen throwing a brick at Denny's head, was set at $195,000. The attack was seen by many on live television. 4 Good Samaritans, who were also black, rescued Denny after watching the beating on TV. And 5 Houston teenagers have been charged with placing bombs in mailboxes. Police say chemical bombs inside soft drink bottles blew up in at least 5 mailboxes. 3 others were found before they ignited. Authorities say the boys may be charged with 2nd and 3rd degree felonies. I'm Bill Ross for Newswatch 6 Today.
A Bryan man who hired a hitman through a magazine ad to kill his wife has been executed in Huntsville. Robert Black, a former Marine, is the 2nd person to be put to death in Texas this week. Last night, the Supreme Court refused to stay the execution. Attorneys for the condemned man argued that he had trouble readjusting after his combat service in Vietnam. Black, 45, was convicted of hiring John Wayne Hearn to kill his wife at their Bryan home in 1985. Hearn had offered himself for hire for high-risk assignments in a classified advertisement in Soldier of Fortune magazine. A gas leak in Robinson has been brought under control. On Thursday afternoon, homes and businesses were evacuated after propane gas began leaking from a storage tank. The tank is owned by the Farrell Gas Company. Students at Robinson Elementary were taken to the junior high school until their parents could pick them up. Luckily, no one was injured. Around 8 o'clock last night, Robinson residents were allowed to return to their homes. An Austin judge has ordered a runoff election to decide who will be the new mayor of Killeen. The race on May 2nd was too close to call. Incumbent Major Blair received about 48% of the vote. Roy Villaronga finished 2nd with 35%. The visiting district judge ruled the Killeen City Charter requires a majority vote. City council members were unable to decide whether to call the runoff.
The charter was very clear that a majority was required, at least for the position of mayor. There has been some questions in the mind of the majority of the people in Killeen as to why this was ever a matter of concern, for the simple reason it never has been all the years that we've been a charter city.
The Killeen City Council is scheduled to meet next week to set the election date. It will be held sometime between June 20th and the 27th. Earlier this week, we told you about controversy surrounding the Temple Chamber of Commerce. It began after an employee was arrested on a theft charge. That was followed by the resignation of the Chamber's executive director. Reporter Sharon Gwynn spoke with John Mark Bono about his decision to quit.
For many, leaving one's job to go to an uncertain future would perhaps be a scary thought, but not for John Mark Bono.
I'm to a point after 12 years of working with voluntary organizations such as chambers. I'm to a point in my career in life where I'm looking forward to making that change. And hopefully, again, our preference and our goal is to stay in the Temple area.
The resignation officially came in on Tuesday. However, Bonneau, executive director at the chamber for 5 years, says he's been thinking about it for a while. The chamber's president, though, says that was a shock to him.
The resignation a surprise to you and the board of directors?
It was not something that we had planned to do.
Yet Bonneau contends.
For the last 60 days, I have been open with the executive board, talking about my feelings, somewhat frustrations and this sort of thing. And so, but those frustrations are more personal than they were anything else.
Bonneau will leave behind a number of accomplishments from his stay at the chamber. To name a few, the start of Leadership Temple and the Temple Beautiful program. As far as now, well, the search for a new executive director is on.
Procedure will be to appoint a search committee. They will develop a revised position description, a statement of qualifications for the executive director. We will place advertisements appropriately.
Bonneau's last day here at the chamber will be June 1st. After that time, the existing staff will be very involved in managing the chamber. That is, until a new executive director can be found. Sharon Gwynn, Newswatch 6, Temple.
Employees at one of Waco's largest companies are deciding whether to join the Teamsters Union. This week, some of Central Freight's union members have stood outside the company's headquarters. On Thursday, Central Freight workers in Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana cast ballots. The National Labor Relations Board will count them next Tuesday. In 1989, employees voted against joining the Teamsters. Motorists can expect to see an increase in gas prices this Memorial Day weekend. Travelers should anticipate a 1 to 2% a gallon rise at the pumps. The price increase has some motorists upset.
Too high. I used to have put plus unleaded in, but now I'm going to regular.
For those heading out of state, they'll probably notice even higher prices at pumps elsewhere. An extra cost that can be easily avoided this holiday weekend is fines for not wearing seat belts. Buckle Up America has kicked off a nationwide campaign. The group is trying to increase seatbelt usage to 70% by the end of the year. Healthcare professionals say buckling up could very well save your life.
For the safety sake of it, and because it's company policy.
How about on your own time? I mean, why do you wear your seatbelt?
Well, for the safety part of it. I think everybody ought to wear a safety belt.
Oh, we wear them because if we're in a severe accident, I value my life and I wouldn't want my head to go through the windshield. And my husband is always on me about it.
Tickets for failing to wear your seatbelt can range from $45 to $55. Standing by now with a look ahead at your weekend weather forecast is Richard Tollison. Richard?
Thank you, Christina. You know, perhaps what they should do if they determine that seatbelts were not in use during a wreck, the insurance should just not pay off. And maybe that would encourage folks to hit them in the pocketbook. They might wear them. 62 in Waco and Temple, 63 in Killeen, 64 in Bryan College Station. I know you're saying, it's my right not to wear a seatbelt. It is not your right to leave your vehicle and have your vehicle go down the road and hit my vehicle. All right? Okay. Now, clear skies. Clear if you could see it for the fog. In some places, you look up stars and moon, and then in other places, it is very, very foggy. I mean, thick as Campbell's thick and chunky soup. It is incredibly thick out there, fog-wise. Be careful. 97% the relative humidity, dew point 61 degrees. East winds at 5, and the barometer steady at 30.07. Here is the 4D satellite picture. Obviously not going to pick up fog, but there's what we're left with. Just a few low clouds, and then closer to the ground, boy, I mean really low clouds. Can't see where you're going, to tell you the truth. There's some heavier clouds out to our west associated with the stationary front, and we'll be getting more of that later in the weekend. Mostly cloudy today, 30% chance of thunderstorms, high of 85, southeast winds 10 to 15. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, a 20% chance of thunderstorms and a low of 68. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 30% chance of thunderstorms and a high of 85. Looking on ahead to the Memorial Day weekend, we've put in scattered showers each and every day. Yes, sir, Reedy D. It's going to be a good one. Lows will be right around the mid-60s and highs hovering around the mid-80-degree mark. Now, when we say scattered showers, of course, we're just talking about here and there. Some folks might not get any, and it might not rain at all in the area that day, but there's going to be a chance of rain every day through the Memorial Day weekend.
Kind of like we've had the last couple of days.
Except,
well, hopefully, if we do get any, it won't last all day.
Yeah, I think that it's not going to be to the point where it's going to be raining for
like
hours on
weekend.
end. Yeah, like yesterday in portions of the viewing area, FM 1183 and I-35 near Salado were actually closed for a time. I'm not sure if they're open now, but I believe at least I-35 is. We'll have to check on that later.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
Right.
Just ahead, a mini college to help Central Texans understand mental illness. And later, Christmas, so we'll have your morning sports, so don't go away.
Got my coaster.
Got it back.
Yeah, it's now 6:10. Stay with us.
Jim Tranum is committed in providing you with savings and service. Look at this savings on a Roadmaster, $29.95. And 2.9% financing? That's right, only 2.9% financing. And our service department is now open each night till 7:30. That's right, till 7:30 nightly. Now that's service. Savings and service, that's Jim Tranum, where you have over 20 Roadmasters to choose from. Jim Tranum, we trade while others talk.
You can see the quality in the construction and design in chairs made by Superior Chaircraft. At Myron's Office World in Killeen and Coppers Cove, we stock a wide selection of colors and styles which will upgrade your home or office. Superior Chaircraft products are made in Texas and carry outstanding warranties on parts and mechanisms. For excellence in design and construction, choose chairs made by Superior Chaircraft. Available at Myron's Office World, Killeen and Coppers Cove.
Are you ready to build your new home? Add on or remodel your present one. Add vinyl siding. Whatever you need, Eldon Bickel Construction can do it right. Call today for your free estimate.
You do have a choice. You can spend your time fighting for the best deal when you go car shopping, or you can come to a place where everyone pays the same low price. Johnson Brothers Ford. And this Memorial Day weekend, we're featuring vehicles for those families which are growing, but whose budgets aren't. Johnson Brothers Ford has some super low prices on a huge selection of Aerostars, Explorers, wagons, and even our all-new conversion vans. Finally, car buying simple and easy every day. Johnson Brothers Ford, your discount one-price dealer.
Welcome back to Newswatch 6 today. This morning we're going to tell you about an upcoming mini college at Temple Junior College. Joining me now are Cheryl Baker and Marjorie Lewis. They are with the Temple Area Mental Health and Mental Retardation Services. Thank you both for being here this morning. First of all, tell us who you want to come out to the mini college and what it's all about.
The mini college is it's for people who are codependent, who need help. There will be free screening for children aged 0 to 3 who are developmentally delayed. There will be LPC, C&Es, and CEU units offered, and
Public's invited.
the public's invited.
Most of the public. It is not just for professionals. It's oriented towards community involvement, and what it involves are professionals within the community offering their time to present sessions that on mental health areas of topics that are of prominent concern today. You know, those things fluctuate. So that's what it is. It's to involve the community and to involve our organization with the community.
Do you find that sometimes the cost of mental health treatment is something that keeps some people away from getting help?
Perhaps so. That is one reason for them to come in and to find out or to open them up to situations to learn more about and perhaps to break down some barriers within the community, such as stigma, just because there is certain fear from even learning. And in this situation, it's a learning situation. It's to help educate. And everyone deals with mental health issues every day. Whether you realize if you're relating with people, then you're dealing with mental health issues.
Okay. Now, Cheryl, what are some of the biggest problems that an average person may face?
An average person dealing with mental health, accepting it at first. You have to learn to accept it, accept where your problems are, and to pinpoint that area and work with it. Okay.
Do you do this every year, or is this new?
Fairly new. Cheryl, I'm not for sure.
This is the second annual mini college, and it's going to be held at TJC in Berry Hall, which is located in the back of the campus. So.
Once again, that's coming up on May 29th. That is a mini college sponsored by MHMR. It will be held from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., as she said, at Berry Hall on Temple Junior College campus. For more information, you can call 778-4841. Thank you both for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right now, it's time to join Roscoe Harrison on Business Watch.
Good morning. Baylor University's Hand-Government School of Business has strengthened its commitment to continued prosperity of the private enterprise system through the establishment of a new coordinating unit called the Baylor Entrepreneurship Initiative. We have with us this morning Nancy Bowman-Upton with Baylor School of Business. First of all, you're taking a more international focus, aren't you?
That's right. We have a strategic alliance with a business school. We're creating a business school in St. Petersburg, Russia. And in fact, the dean of the business school, Richard Scott, and Steve Gardner, who's a professor in economics, are in St. Petersburg now working with a group of small businesses called Etaninia. This represents 1.6 million entrepreneurs, excuse me, and small business owners in Russia.
What will be their role in Russia? I mean, once they establish this, what will be the role? Technical assistance?
Technical assistance, and when the Russians came to Baylor to find out what type of facilities we had, they lack even the basic business thoughts and skills that we take for granted. They were enthralled by the whole aspect of franchising. They were enthralled by the whole idea of informational infrastructure that could be available that we have that they don't have. So even some basic business skills like writing a business plan or doing market research, something that basic they're interested in.
It's really kind of like working with a developing country when you're
right.
dealing with a capitalistic forum, right?
That's right, yeah.
You're also going to be quite involved in this North American Free Trade Agreement. You're already involved in it, we know, but you've established also a similar type situation in Monterrey, Mexico.
That's right, with the Monterrey Tech, and in fact they have their students coming up to Baylor, and there's Baylor students going down there. We'll be doing some programs with them in the area of family business and small business development.
Now, you work primarily in the family business operation. What areas in family business will you be working with in that area?
Well, what I have found that, and this is true in American history, is that family business is critical to economic development. The first people the entrepreneur calls on in developing their business is their own family members, their spouse and their children. So that we saw this in American history as our economy developed prior to the Civil War, the use of families. Even today, 90% of our businesses are family-owned and operated. And you see the same things in other countries as they develop the use of family business. So we'll be going there and talking about family business and some of the family values. The Russians are very interested in studies that we've done on family values and how to strengthen the family.
Also, you've got very close type of family ties in Mexico, too,
That's
don't
right.
you?
There are some amazing family businesses down there that we'll be working with.
Okay, it's really interesting. We'll be taking a look as this program progresses.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being with us this morning. And that's our time for now.
It's now 6:18 and 62 degrees. Time to check in with Chris Masseau. He has your morning sports.
Good morning, everybody. What in the world is going on in the NBA playoffs? Chicago plays Cleveland in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals on Tuesday, and the Bulls win rather easily. But last night, well, you got to see it to believe it. The Cavs come out red hot and stay that way. Mark Price from 3. No problem. 11-2 Cleveland. Watch this. Craig Elo steals it from Michael Jordan. Comes down and feeds Mike Sanders, who gets the bucket. Cleveland's up 15-3. Still, first quarter. Air ball by Horace Grant, Brad Daugherty to Mark Price. Price takes one of his 4 3-pointers in the first quarter, and of course he makes all 4. You've got the long bombs. You've also got the slam dunks. Watch this. John Williams going baseline. He gets the slam. Cleveland by 26 at the half. They win it by 26. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. And that's it for sports. We'll see you again in 30 minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Coming up next, Dan Willis with Ag Watch, and later Richard will take a look at your ag weather forecast. Please stay with us.
You've always been fascinated by those big machines, dreaming of the day when it would be your turn. But you couldn't have imagined today's John Deere Maximizer Combine, the powerful, gentle threshing giant with features you never dreamed possible just a few years ago. Wherever there's a crop to bring in, you'll find a John Deere Combine and a young boy or girl who can't wait for their turn.
For John Deere quality equipment, see one of these John Deere dealers.
In years' time, Robinson Motors has grown to be one of the nicest used car facilities in this area. And at Robinson Motors, we feel that one of the keys to our growth has been our success in responding to the changing needs of our customers. Our customers want clean and affordable economy cars. We do the financing here, and we've even improved the payment area to include drive-through lanes. It's easy to see that Robinson Motors is committed to customer satisfaction. So come to where the customer is our first consideration. Come to Robinson Motors.
At Green Lake Nursery, our business is growing fast.
Success in life is looking in a mirror and liking who you see. In business, it's being satisfied with your product. That's why for 3 generations, Nemicheks and West have used the same check recipes to make the best sausage, bologna, and cold cuts in Texas. You see, they never sacrificed on quality. Since 1896, they've bought the best beef and pork available. And whether you need hamburgers, steaks to grill, or that Sunday dinner roast, Nemicheks and West have it. And don't get me to talking about that Nemichek bologna and weenies. I can't go under that bum in one. And if you tell them Dan sent you, they'll give you one too, because they know if you try one, you'll take a batch home.
Buddy Roundtree's our guest on Ag Watch again this morning. We're at Goldwade, and Buddy's with the Texas Department of Agriculture. He does the livestock marketing reports for them. Buddy, one of the phases of agriculture that we've seen in a big decline in the last few years, and maybe a little stabilization of it lately, is the sheep industry. What does it look like from your standpoint?
Well, it looks better than it did for a long time. For a long time, the cows was eating us up.
It looked like we were just not going to be any sheep in Texas.
It looked that way for several years around here. However, now we're experiencing a phase in the sheep and goat industry that's relatively new. Is the influx of foreign people in the United States, Jamaicans, Cubans, Vietnamese, Taiwanese, have created us a market for the goat carcass.
Even the age goats, you know, that we used to just nearly give somebody.
Right.
They're found a market.
All right. There's for any kind of an OU or a billy goat, there is a market for them now. And previous years, those things got to where they were 3 or 4 cents a pound, and now it's not out of the ordinary to see an old billy goat bring 40 cents or more.
One of the things that hurts the sheep industry is there has nearly been a takeover of all the killing plants. We don't have any flexibility about where they're going to kill them. When it happens, you don't have any flexibility on what you're going to get from it.
Well, that's true primarily in the lamb business, but these OUs and the sheep and goats.
Salvage end of it.
Salvage end of it is, a lot of this is going to old Mexico,
sure.
and this free trade agreement that we have with old Mexico has created a good market.
Mm-hmm.
This is some out of the efforts of Rick Perry and the Texas Department of Agriculture. They've worked on this thing, and it's been good. But this market has been excellent. For our old Mexico trade, they've killed a lot of our fat lambs, and a lot of the fat ewes have gone that way.
You know, Rick, that was one of his goals, is to get a lamb killing plant back in Texas. And I don't know whether he's got anything done on that or not, but I know he's working on it.
Well, they've got a new plant down at Manor that they're not killing anything right now, but they're packaging a lot of stuff.
Right.
It's going different directions.
It's
They've created some work for some people.
You bet. That looks like it's going to be a big outfit down there, too.
Well, it's got off to a good start, and
they've co-opted
that deal in the right direction.
Right. They've co-opted. I don't think they're quite into production on their end of it yet, but it's going to handle a lot of sheep.
Oh, they ship those carcasses in there, cut and box that stuff and package it, and it's helped that area. I know.
Are they eventually going to be killing there though?
You asked me a question I can't answer.
That was what I understood in preliminary reports they had, was they were going to be a co-op of the people that own the sheep that were going to kill there. Then, if they could take extra lambs, they were going to maybe have a buying firm that sent some lambs in. But basically, I think it was set up for the co-op members so they could market their lambs. And like I said, they're doing a lot of boxing lamb there now.
Well, it's a step in the right direction, and it's kind of got off and running. So we'll see what it
I
happens.
think as Americans, we're missing the taste treat by not eating a lot more lamb than we do.
Well, really, but if you've drank something, you know how people in Texas don't eat it.
We're out of time, buddy. I want to thank you for being with us. See you tomorrow on Ag Watch. Brazos Feed and Supply at 1505 LaSalle in Waco is your major lawn and garden supply, with all your bulbs and seed and flower plants, as well as tomatoes and onions, seed potatoes, garden plants, and seeds of all kinds. Brazos Feed and Supply also has a great supply of gardening tools, as well as fertilizers and insecticides. Brazos Feed and Supply has pets and birds and all types of feed for your pets and livestock. Come by Brazos Feed and Supply today for all your garden needs.
It's now 6:26, and Richard has a look at your ag weather forecast. Richard?
Thank you, Christina. Now 63 degrees in the heart of Texas, and let's find out what that ag weather holds in store for us today. Well, a little bit more sunshine than we had yesterday. 7 to 9 hours forecast. A moderate dew should dry by about 10 a.m. We have a high drying potential today with a ½ inch of rainfall on average. I know I said yesterday that an inch on average, and some places got considerably more than that, but ½ inch on average, and the minimum relative humidity today, 50%. Well, here is the infrared satellite picture now on the national scale. We'll put it into motion and show you those. You saw briefly some fairly heavy clouds, then dying back down as the cooling effect of the sun going down kicked in. And there you can see we just have a few scattered clouds here and there. But what we do have right now is some dangerously heavy fog. If you're going to be driving in the next couple of hours, please be very careful because it is quite thick. Digital radar shows us we don't have any rainfall in the state, although we do have some just off the Texas Gulf Coast and some more just off in Old Mexico, as our Ag Watch guest said just a few minutes ago. Now, mostly cloudy skies today. A 30% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 85 and southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy tonight, a 20% chance of thunderstorms with a low down to 68 and light southeast winds. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, and again, that 30% chance of thunderstorms. All of these thunderstorm chances late afternoon, early evening, high tomorrow, 85. And the extended forecast calls for rain to continue on through the Memorial Day weekend for Sunday, Monday, and then as you begin work next week, Tuesday, scattered showers with lows hovering right around the mid-60 degree mark and the high temperatures right around the mid-80s, just about where they should be this time of year, Christina, as we will see in our next half hour. So at least the temperatures are right. And since May is our rainiest month, I guess the precipitation's right as well.
It may not be right to wear a bathing suit out this weekend.
Well, unless you just want to take a shower in one outside.
In the rain.
Yeah.
Coming up in our next half hour, it is swimsuit time. Millions of Americans will be trying to shed those unwanted pounds. But that doesn't mean the diet industry is getting any fatter. We'll find out why. Also, Newswatch 6 for Kids, and later a farewell to Tonight Show host Johnny Carson. We'll look back over his 30-year career, and we'll be right back.
63 degrees now at 6:29.
Your Ford dealers are having an incredible sale right now, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to be there. I'm not there.
Now get each dealer's lowest selling prices. Save hundreds, even thousands, like over $2,700 on F-150 and $1,200 on Taurus, all before you make your best deal.
They're not there.
Hurry to your Texas Ford dealers Memorial Weekend event.
He won't.
Howdy. They asked me to tell you all about a little project we just wrapped up here in San Antonio. They call it Fiesta, Texas. Nothing fancy, just the darndest theme park built in America in the last 20 years. Got its own Mexican village built right inside. Bravo! Over at the old-time German Texas town, they're celebrating Oktoberfest. There's a 1920s boom town where it's always the 4th of July. And you can ride the Rattler, world's tallest wooden roller coaster. And there's a place called Rockville, where it's homecoming every day, and the 50s rock and roll never stops. And still in the same little old park, the whole family can cool their heels and just about everything else. Yep, down here we only know one way of doing things, Texas style. And I reckon you know what that means. So come to Fiesta, Texas, and celebrate Texas. Fiesta, Texas!
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Newswatch 6 today. On this Friday morning, it's now 6:30.
And it is 63 degrees, and it is quite foggy, and make good needed. Anyway,
Definitely a make good on that one.
Anyway, at 63 degrees, we're headed for another day like yesterday, only I think we'll see a little bit more sunshine, and we could have some of those scattered showers by the end of, I'm sorry to say it, but we could have some more of them by the end of the day. And I'll be back to tell you all about it in just a little bit.
You're still on everyone's bad list.
I'm still on everybody's bad list, but honest, it's not my fault. Bruce put me up to it.
Okay, we'll blame Bruce then. Thank you.
Okay.
Taking a look now at news making national headlines. Officials in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania say a prostitute who knew she had the AIDS virus admits to having sex with about 50 men a week in the last 3 years. A police spokesman says the woman's claim can't be confirmed, although she does test positive for the HIV virus. The woman has been arrested, and police say she was prostituting to support a cocaine habit. A Justice Department study says Mississippi ranks first among states in brutality complaints by prison inmates against guards. The study found one brutality complaint for every 46 of the state's prison workers. Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, and California rounded out the top 5. The study was undertaken last year in the wake of the Rodney King beating. The Coast Guard says it won't pick up as many Haitian refugees because there's no more space to hold them. The U.S. has almost 12,000 refugees in camps at a naval base in Cuba. A Coast Guard spokesman says boats deemed seaworthy will be asked to return to Haiti. In state news, a Bryan man who hired a hitman through a magazine ad to kill his wife has been executed in Huntsville. Robert Black, a former Marine, is the second person to be put to death in Texas this week. Last night, the Supreme Court refused to stay the execution. Attorneys for the condemned man argued that he had trouble readjusting after his combat service in Vietnam. Black, 45, was convicted of hiring John Wayne Hearn to kill his wife at their Bryan home in 1985. Hearn had offered himself for hire for high-risk assignments in a classified advertisement in Soldier of Fortune magazine. A gas leak in Robinson has been brought under control. On Thursday afternoon, homes and businesses were evacuated after propane gas began leaking from a storage tank. The tank is owned by the Farrell Gas Company. Students at Robinson Elementary were taken to the junior high school until their parents could pick them up. No one was injured. Around 8 o'clock last night, Robinson residents were allowed to return to their homes. An Austin judge has ordered a runoff election to decide who will be the new mayor of Killeen. The race on May 2nd was too close to call. Incumbent Major Blair received about 48% of the vote. Roy Villaronga finished second with 35%. The visiting judge ruled the Killeen City Charter requires a majority vote. City council members were unable to decide whether to call the runoff.
The charter was very clear that a majority was required, at least for the position of mayor. There has been some questions in the mind of the majority of the people in Killeen as to why this was ever a matter of concern, for the simple reason it never has been all the years that we've been a charter city.
The Killeen City Council is scheduled to meet next week to set the election date. It will be held sometime between June 20th and the 27th. Earlier this week, we told you about controversies surrounding the Temple Chamber of Commerce. It all began after an employee was arrested on a theft charge. That was followed by the resignation of the Chamber's executive director. Reporter Sharon Gwynn spoke with John Mark Bono about his decision to quit.
For many, leaving one's job to go to an uncertain future would perhaps be a scary thought, but not for John Mark Bono.
I'm to a point after 12 years of working with voluntary organizations such as Chambers, I'm to a point in my career and life where I'm looking forward to making that change. And hopefully, again, our preference and our goal is to stay in the Temple area.
The resignation officially came in on Tuesday. However, Bonneau, executive director at the chamber for 5 years, says he's been thinking about it for a while. The chamber's president, though, says that was a shock to him.
The resignation a surprise to you and the board of directors?
It was not something that we had planned to do.
Yet Bonneau contends.
For the last 60 days, I have been open with the executive board, talking about my feelings, somewhat frustrations and this sort of thing. And so, but those frustrations are more personal than they were anything else.
Bonneau will leave behind a number of accomplishments from his stay at the chamber. To name a few, the start of Leadership Temple and the Temple Beautiful program. As far as now, well, the search for a new executive director is on.
Procedure will be to appoint a search committee. They will develop a revised position description, a statement of qualifications for the executive director. We will place advertisements appropriately.
Bonneau's last day here at the chamber will be June 1st. After that time, the existing staff will be very involved in managing the chamber. That is until a new executive director can be found. Sharon Gwynn, Newswatch 6, Temple.
Motorists can expect to see an increase in gas prices this Memorial Day weekend. Travelers should anticipate a 1 to 2% per gallon rise at the pumps. The price increase has some motorists upset.
Too high. I used to have put plus unleaded in, but now I'm going to regular.
For those heading out of state, they'll probably notice even higher prices at the pumps. And if you plan on traveling this Memorial Day weekend, Richard Tollison's standing by with a look at the on-the-road forecast. Richard?
I've got it figured out, Christina. Thank you very much. I've also got it figured out why you and I don't get Memorial Day off. I thought it was because they were just mean. It's because they're trying to save us money on gas. They're doing us a favor. All right, now, it is 63 degrees, and let's show you what it's going to be like on the road today in Texas. Now, I want to give you a little lesson. When you turn on your wipers, will you people please turn on your lights? Wipers plus lights equal safety. People can see you, you can see other people. It just works marvelously. All right, mostly cloudy today in Dallas, 84. Partly cloudy in El Paso, 81. It'll be partly cloudy in Houston today and 84 degrees, and mostly cloudy in Lubbock, 80 degrees. And almost everywhere there's going to be that chance of the late afternoon, early evening thunderstorms. All right, the infrared satellite picture now, and there you can see the clouds that just popped up in our area, created the showers and thunderstorms, very heavy rain at times, and moved on out of the way. Oh, it's deceptively clear on this map. Look outside. It is thick as pea soup. It is very foggy. Be very careful. And as you're driving to work today, just allow a little extra time, or if it's too late for you now to allow for that extra time, just be a couple of minutes late because conditions are quite hazardous. All right, now, let us move on ahead to the forecast, which calls for mostly cloudy skies today, a 30% chance of thunderstorms, late afternoon variety, high of 85 with southeast winds 10 to 15. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy tonight, 20% chance of thunderstorms, again, mainly in the early evening, with a low of 68. And then for tomorrow, those late afternoon thunderstorms, 30% chance of them, otherwise mostly cloudy, high of 85. Here's your extended forecast now. We're calling for a chance of rain each and every day. I know this looks like it's just going to be soggy all weekend, but most of the day, I believe, will be, for the most part, sunshine with a few clouds, and then late afternoon those scattered showers pop up. Lows will hover around the mid-60s and highs in the mid-80s. So, Christina, I wouldn't cancel Memorial Day plans. I'd just be aware that they could temporarily force you to go indoors.
Well, let's hope they don't.
Yeah.
We don't want it to ruin anyone's weekend.
Absolutely not. As long as our weekend's ruined, though, we just might.
If the Rangers keep losing, it may ruin a lot of people's
Yeah,
weekends.
but you know what? Nolan Ryan, he was ahead 5-1 when he left the game. He had 7 innings, struck out, I think, 8. Left the game ahead, and once again, the Rangers can't come through for him, and they lose 7-5.
Poor Nolan.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be sitting there thinking, what do I have to do? How many Advil does it take?
Apparently, he hasn't taken enough.
I guess not.
Right now, Chris Masseau standing by with your morning sports.
63 degrees at 6:39.
Good morning again, everybody. A high school baseball game between China Spring and Rosebud Lodge, scheduled yesterday at 5 o'clock at Farrell Field in Waco, has been moved to today at 1:30. Also at Farrell Field, of course, barring any rain. Yesterday's game was rained out. They will try it once again, 1:30 at Farrell Field. Only 4 games in the major leagues yesterday. One of them has the Mets visiting San Diego. Eddie Murray, 4 hits, including this one, way out of here to right. Bobby Bonilla also unleashes a home run. His also towering out of here to right. And the Mets beat San Diego 8-3. Baseball scores now. San Francisco beats Pittsburgh 1-0 in the National League. 2 games in the AL. Texas with Nolan Ryan on the mound playing Kansas City. And Milwaukee beats Detroit 7-3. NC2A now. East Regional. Texas A&M gets 4 RBIs from Travis Williams. Jeff Granger gets the win. A&M will play either Georgia Tech or George Mason in the next round. They beat California 15-6. And that's it for sports. We'll see you tonight at 6 and 10.
Thanks, Chris. When we come back, millions of Americans are trying to shed those unwanted pounds for the summer season, but the diet industry isn't getting any fatter. Also, Newswatch 6 for Kids, and later a farewell to Tonight Show host Johnny Carson. We'll be back in just a moment.
There was a time when a car dealer stocked a handful of trucks and said they were in the truck business. Times have changed. Announcing the grand opening of Don Ringler's Texas Truck Center. Over 200 new trucks available, a brand new truck showroom, and a dealership dedicated to Texas truck buyers. It's about time you got the attention you deserve. And Don Ringler delivers. The best selection and unbeatable grand opening deals. Don Ringler's Texas Truck Center. Good people making good truck deals.
Dunn Brake and Tire, family owned and operated, serving all your family's auto service needs. 208 Lake Air, Waco.
Why is Buick Roadmaster becoming so popular among former owners of the Lincoln Town Car? Both come with rear-wheel drive, standard anti-lock brakes, and driver's side airbag. But Roadmaster gives you a larger engine and savings of more than $9,300. And now, your Central Texas Buick dealer is offering financing rates as low as 2.9%. Drive a Texas legend and save.
See Jim Hoffpower, Steve Gist, Bolton McLaren, or Tatum Shane Motor Company.
It's now 17 minutes away from 7 and 63 degrees. If you're thinking about getting rid of some of that extra weight to look better in a swimsuit, you're not alone. So are millions of Americans. But that doesn't mean the diet industry is gaining weight. Roscoe Harrison joins us now on Business Watch with the story. Roscoe.
Good morning, Christina. Yes, many Americans are refusing to shed those unwanted pounds, and without them, the multi-million-dollar diet industry could be in for some trouble on its bottom line. Alan Chernoff has more.
Dirty word in this crowd because these women are part of a growing movement of diet dropouts, people who have tried dieting and are fed up with it.
Most of us have been convinced by the diet industry that the best way to solve the problem is pull yourself up by the bootstraps, yell yourself into submission, and we know as mental health workers that that's the worst prescription.
Psychotherapist Jane Hirschman is co-author of Overcoming Overeating and a leader of the growing anti-diet movement. She contends diet companies are to blame for much of the weight problems of American women.
They have been duped by a $37 billion diet industry into thinking that they have eating and weight problems, when in fact they have calming problems. They run to food when they're anxious.
Several weeks ago, at a conference sponsored by the National Institutes of Health, a medical expert reported that most people who lose weight on a diet gain it back in 1 to 3 years. Hirschman says that's because dieters feel imprisoned and they break out by binging.
We would like to put the diet industry out of business.
In fact, diet companies have been suffering. Major chains have seen profits and revenues fall in the past 2 years, some by more than 10%. But diet industry executives say that's because of the recession. Americans are trimming their budgets before they trim their waistlines.
Do you ever ask yourself if it's really the food that I want?
Still, Weight Watchers is taking the message very seriously, arguing that it is not a diet, but a total weight loss program. In fact, program director Barbara Moore, who has a Ph.D. in nutrition, says quick diets don't work.
Weight Watchers has always had a very strong technical staff whose job mandate was to stay in touch with the scientific literature.
The Diet Center also claims it is not a diet, in spite of its name. This year, the chain's chief executive is banking on a new computerized weight loss system that measures body fat, which he hopes will end the company's 3-year profit decline. The diet industry isn't going to waste away, but the latest scientific evidence and the message from Overcoming Overeating are leading weight loss companies to change their techniques to the point where diet has now become a dirty word even within the diet industry. Alan Chernoff, This Morning's Business, New York.
And Chevrolet has announced that it will keep 6-passenger family-sized cars like the Caprice in its lineup through the 1990s, even as General Motors focus on fewer nameplates, a GM executive said on yesterday. The Caprice, whose future was placed in doubt by the consolidation of all of GM's rear-wheel drive large production in Arlington, received a reprieve through at least 1995. West Texas crude closed at $20.90 a barrel on the New York Mercantile yesterday, up about 50 cents, and the dollar was up on the foreign markets this morning in early European trading. Gold was fixed at $337.20 an ounce, up about a quarter. That's a look at business news on this Friday morning as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. Speaking of diets, Christina, are you on a diet now?
Yes, I have been for quite a while.
Quite a while. How much have you lost?
About 15 pounds.
About 15 pounds. Now, how do you do this? Just scale back on what you're...
Actually, the best way to do it is to make sure you eat healthy. A lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, drink a lot of water, at least 8 glasses a day. And a lot of the fad diets, you know, I've tried some of them, and you tend to gain that back after a short period of time.
You know, it may not look like it, but I've lost about 20 pounds. I was up to 235 pounds, and now I'm back down to about 215.
Wow.
And I just scaled back, you know, that's all, you know, just cut
really,
back.
that's the key.
Yeah.
Eat balanced, well-balanced meals.
You know, I'm afraid of these quick diets.
Well, they can make some people sick.
Yes, they can.
Well, now that we've revealed all our secrets.
Especially if you have things like high blood pressure, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to join Patricia right now. She has Newswatch 6 for Kids.
Have you ever dreamed of becoming an actor? If you have, you could get your start like these Temple High School kids. Richard Tollison tells us how they're preparing for their dramatic weekend.
The name of our town. This is David Knight. He's a Temple High School junior, but this weekend he'll play the role of the stage manager in the school's production of the play, Our Town. That's the classic Thornton Wilder play that Temple High drama students will perform. One of the most basic problems any actor faces is the task of memorizing his lines. That's especially true for David's part.
I have to memorize a lot. And it's really not too bad. The only problem is I don't have a lot of dialogue. It's really like a long time ago in UIL in elementary school, we did this thing called storytelling. And that's about what it is.
Since the play Our Town is considered an American classic, many of these students read it when they were sophomores. But now it's jumped off the pages of their books and become part of their lives.
I've become to identify with it more, and I just really understand what goes on in the play, and I can feel the emotions.
If some of you are considering taking drama in high school, you'll have to overcome a common difficulty, stage fright. Of course, not everybody gets it.
Oh no, I think once that we get in front of the people, things will just lighten up because we've been practicing so much that we know our lines so well, and you get into the play and concentrate on what you're doing rather than what's going on around you.
You'll be able to see the results of Rebecca's work, along with that of Mandy and David and dozens of others this weekend. The play will be performed in the round. That means audience members will be on all sides of the stage, and sound effects will be done live, just as in the days when the play was first written years ago. So go see Our Town. You may just say, the play's the thing for you. Richard Tollison, Newswatch 6 for Kids, Temple.
Our Town will be performed in the Temple High School cafeteria this Friday and Saturday night at 8 o'clock and again on Sunday at 2 in the afternoon. Waco Baptist Academy swept the awards in the recent Earth Day litter bag coloring contest. The artwork was designed to heighten awareness of a clean environment. Third grader Angie Cates received honorable mention. Second place went to second grader Gene Walker. Bo Swan received the first place award for his creation entitled Don't Make the Earth a Trash Can. Adults can learn a valuable lesson from these kids.
They're the next generation, so they have a lot of difficult choices to make. And kids seem to have this funny thing about them. They seem to take the things that they learn home with them. And so not only do you educate the children, but you also often catch the parents as well in the turnaround.
Swan received a $100 prize for his efforts. Now we have a prize of a weather question.
Yes, you know, I want to comment on what she was saying. You know, children do learn a lot at school and bring it home and teach their parents. And we, a lot of times, try to teach kids about tornadoes and things at school so they can come home and tell their parents what to do during severe weather. Now, another question we have today from Roseanne Garcia, a second grader at Central Elementary. She wanted to know, how did I become a weather forecaster? Now, she directed that question to me. How did you become? So I said, how did I become, since I had to read it. But to answer her question, I had to have a love for weather. And usually when we get involved with something, I'm sure you had a love for being in journalism,
current events like that.
and news, and you have to have a desire for something, and you want to become something, and then you have to find other people that are more knowledgeable in your field to study under. I believe internships are
I learned more during my internship than I did in school.
That's
it's
right.
True.
I took an internship where it was a paid job, but I think of it as an internship with Harold Taft up in Dallas, and he taught me more about Texas weather in just a few months than I learned in several years of college. So one of the best ways of learning a science or learning a skill that cannot be taught directly in school sometimes is through internships. Find an expert. That's the reason our grandparents and our parents can be such good teachers for their kids and role models sometimes, because they have all this knowledge, and if you want to become something, it's good to find someone you idolize or think that has a great experience or knowledge in that field and get to know them better and follow them around. And we do this for no pay a lot of times. We're getting into the field that we want to be into called internships. You don't get paid for it, but the knowledge you gain is, you can't put a price tag on it.
I agree. Okay, thank you, Bruce. For Newswatch 6 for Kids, I'm Patricia Musburger. Thanks for watching.
You know, Roscoe, this is probably one of the biggest days in television history.
That's right. This signals the end of an era.
Big era.
A big era. And,
Johnny Carson leaves The Tonight Show.
And he said this morning, as a matter of fact, I was reading in USA Today, that he hates the word retirement. You know, and I don't think it will signal the end of his retirement.
How about relax for a while?
Yeah, he's just going to leave The Tonight Show.
Right. And Jay Leno, of course, will replace him on Monday night.
Oh, that's right.
With all the attention The Tonight Show has been getting, you may think you know everything about Johnny Carson and his 30 years on late-night TV. But Carson had an up-and-down life in television long before his multi-million-dollar success on Tonight. Carrie Pfeiffer takes us back to Carson's broadcasting roots when he was happy to be making minimum wage.
Yeah, well, none of us in those days made very much money.
He was the skinny, very skinny kid from Norfolk, Nebraska, who picked up extra money doing magic shows. Straight out of the war, then college, and ready to take on a new world. Carson started his television career here at Channel 6 TV in Omaha. Back when they first went on the air in 1949, it's estimated they were broadcasting to a grand total of 35 television sets. But even back then, there was plenty of evidence of the Carson sense of humor.
Hi, everybody. Before we really get going with the Christmas show today, I'd like to be probably the last to say a Merry Christmas. We hope a good many of you are enjoying Christmas with your families today. And if you've exchanged presents already, probably had a very nice Christmas dinner.
Carson was making about $50 a week and working far more than the 1 hour a day schedule you now see him.
You'd open up the station at 5:55, you'd do a radio show, you might announce till noon, and then I would turn around and shift gears and go up to the television station and get ready to do the hour show from 4 to 5.
Back in those days, in 49, 50, 51, if you got a $2.50 a week raise once a year, that was it.
Pete Petrosik worked as an office boy in Omaha with Carson. In fact, he may have been Carson's original fan.
Johnny was, I loved his way of presenting a joke. His timing was perfect.
Carson took that perfect timing to California. He did some comedy writing, he hosted a variety show that bombed, and after almost 10 years, finally found national success. But not on The Tonight Show.
Who do you trust?
And it was this game show that led to his getting offered The Tonight Show. And for 30 years, he's been doing a program that's a more sophisticated version of his original TV job.
We'll see you next Wednesday.
Tomorrow night, Lee Ullman will be here. George Carlin and Gloria Estefan. We'll see you then. Good night.
Kerry Pfeffer for NBC News.
He sure will be missed.
He sure will.
That's ironic. He started his television career at Channel 6.
That's right,
So
in
did we.
Omaha. Yes, that's right. And as a matter of fact, you know, he's an American tradition. You know, people just automatically turn on The Tonight Show after their local news goes off. And now when they turn it on, it won't be Johnny, it'll be Jay Leno.
Hopefully he can have as much success with his
Yes, we wish him well.
Right now it's time to take a break. When we come back, Richard will have a final look at your morning weather.
Today's car buyers are really smart. And some of them know almost as much about our product as we do. And they're tough. They want a good car at a good price from a dealer that they can trust. At Centroplex, our promise is simple. We'll beat any Ford dealer in Texas or give you the difference in cold, hard cash. And once you experience Centroplex service, you'll want none other. Centroplex Ford and Subaru, W.S. Young and Rancière, Killeen.
It's Tyco's Incredible Crash Dummies, a smash hit with kids. They're now appearing at Citgo in original travel activity books. Each is a different adventure story with games, puzzles, surprises, and safety lessons kids can live by. And each is only 99 cents. Stop in at any participating Citgo for all this fun. And on the way...
Don't shoot me, you dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
The Incredible Crash Dummies travel activity books. Hurry to Citgo. At 99 cents, they'll go fast.
There's two ways to save right now at your Central Texas GMC truck dealer. First, look at this 1992 Sonoma with a special value package worth $2,843. You get all these options at no additional cost. The second way to save is with $750 cash back on all new Sonomas. A value package worth $2,843 plus $750 cash back. That's real value in an American-made truck. See Jim Tranum GMC Truck in Temple and Cleo Bay GMC Truck in Killeen.
It's now 3 minutes away from 7, and Richard has that final look at your morning weather. Richard?
Well, thank you very much, Christy. I hope I have somewhere to sit when I can come back over there. The couch seems to be having some technical difficulties right now. 64 degrees in the heart of Texas. Yesterday's high, 85, after an overnight low of 66. Just about right on where we should be normally. Record high, fix it fast, Roscoe, 97. That was in 1965, I believe. Record low, about 54, somewhere back in the 40s. Sun has already come up. We'll set this evening at 8:23. By the way, we have a Perry Mason movie tonight at 8, so tune in. Watch it. Mostly cloudy skies tonight. 30% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 85. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy tonight. 20% chance of thunderstorms and a low of 68. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 30% chance of thunderstorms, and again, a high of 85. And here's your extended forecast now on into the Memorial Day weekend. Sunday, scattered showers, a low of 67 and a high of 85. Monday, scattered showers, low of 66 and a high of 84. Tuesday, scattered showers, low of 67 and a high of 83 degrees. So we don't have much change in the weekend forecast all weekend long. Slight chance of rain. Right now, though, there is still some fog out there. Very, very hazardous going for the folks who are driving, so they need to take it easy and be very careful, Christina.
Yes, definitely, and you need to fasten your seatbelt.
I'll tell you, this couch starts to go again. I'm going to scald myself. I'll tell you what, I'm going to set my coffee cup right over here just to be on the safe side. You know, I think it's a really sad day with Johnny going. I remember when I was a kid, and I'd lay in bed all night, and I wouldn't go to sleep when they'd put me in bed, and I could hear that coming on. I wanted to watch so bad, and
I did too.
Didn't get
I did too. I know.
We're going to miss him.
The warm weather, though, that we've been having and a lot of the rain and all should bring about a lot more bugs in the area this summer.
Oh, boy, yeah.
We're in for a big summer.
A buggy summer.
On a final note this morning, if there wasn't a fly in the soup, maybe people should have asked for one. At the 100th anniversary banquet of the New York Entomological Society, people who are big on bugs ate high on the hog. Waiters in tuxedos carried trays of crickets, and you could almost make a meal on mealworms. And if waiting for your cricket made you antsy, you could eat an ant live. Scientists say lots of bugs have lots of protein and are safe to eat, but the society had to have the affair catered. It couldn't find a restaurant in New York that would intentionally put bugs in the food. I'm glad I didn't go.
That's disgusting.
It is gross.
Bugs are germy.
I know.
Yuck. My cats eat them, but they leave the legs.
Those crazy scientists.
Yeah.
Oh. We've got to go. We'll be back at 7:25. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye now.